What was the very first movie to make you cry? Homeward Bound. When Shadow Makes It Back. Wall-E. The Iron Giant. I remember watching it on VHS for movie night and then spending the rest of the night sad as hell. Bridge to Terabithia. Okay, if I tell you, don't fucking laugh. Lego Batman. Fox and the Hound. She literally drove away without her cat in that car, sad face. Gonna put my 2 cents in. Up. First movie ever to get me bawling in general, but Captain Phillips made me bawl in the theater. Castaway. I shit you not, LMAO. I was like 7 and my basketball and football were 2 of my best friends as well, so I related to him. Screaming, will soon. My Girl. Lion King. Bro, Saving Private Ryan. Pokemon. The first movie. First during the my brother scene. And then Pikachu's audibly increasing desperation as he futilely tries to wake Ash up. I Am Sam. I was like 12 and cried so much my sister still makes fun of me for it. I'm 30 now. Big Fish. My dad's a big storyteller, so it hit home. Don't bully me. But click. Yeah, the Adam Sandler movie. The Green Mile. Grave of the Fireflies. Y'all ever seen Watership Down? Dumbo. Still makes me cry. The Never-Ending Story. Artax crying. Hachi. The answer is going to be The Land Before Time for a lot of people. Train to Busan. E.T. Lilo and Stitch. Lol, it was so long ago I can't even remember what made me cry but had me fucking sobbing at one point. Jojo Rabbit. I won't spoil it since it's relatively new, but there's one scene in particular that just had me sobbing. Patch Adams. When the old lady was squeezing noodles in an outdoor pool. Marley and Me. Toy Story 3. Forrest Gump. Oliver and Company beginning scene where the cat is floating away in the rainwater all alone after not being adopted. Brutal. My family is not a crying family, so I had to try hard to hold back the tears so I wasn't made fun of. Edit after I reread this to say by family I mean siblings. I'm the youngest, so any reason to make fun of me was fully taken advantage of. My parents would have never made fun of me for crying, even though it was uncommon. My dogs Skip, Bambi, The Last of the Mohicans. That I remember? Shrek. I'm not kidding. Monsters Inc. My mom had to console me for hours because I was so upset that Boo and Sully weren't going to be together forever. An American Tail. Bridge to Terabithia. No joke, this movie really got me. I highly suggest it for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but I highly doubt there is that many of you. How to Train Your Dragon 2. Old Yeller. Fuck. Charlotte's Web. Free Willy. My aunt took my brother and I to see it. We both cried, denied it, called each other pussies, and beat the shit out of each other. My aunt was appalled. It was embarrassing on a lot of levels. The earliest I can think of is Pinocchio. When Geppetto is walking around in the rain looking for him. Snoopy come home. I remember a scene where all of the dogs are alone under the bridge. And it broke my little heart. Milo and Otis. It's a Wonderful Life. Homeward Bound. When Shadow came over the hill at the end. Pursuit of Happiness. I can't remember, but one of the first ones for sure. And one of my favorite movies of all time. Life is Beautiful. Armageddon. Bruce Willis sacrificing himself? Tears. Old Yeller. Coco. Meet the Robinsons. Lord of the Rings. Return of the King. My Girl. He can't see without his glasses. Up when the wife died. Big Daddy. When social services took Adam Sandler's kid away. Where the red fern grows. Still makes me bawl. Braveheart. For some reason. The Color Purple. That ending makes me ugly cry tears of happiness every time, lol. That damn Spielberg. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. As far as I can recall it was Empire of the Sun. I was 11 when I first saw that movie. And I am telling you, watching that movie as a kid is an entirely different experience than watching it as adult. Because adults think a kid's worst nightmare is the monster in the closet or the boogeyman under the bed. But it's not. It's the fear of being separated from your parents. That helplessness that comes from it. And that movie had so much of that. The Rugrats movie. I was probably around 4 on the Orange movie was in my Easter basket. I was so excited! Exclamation mark. Halfway through I become distraught. The scene of Tommy cuddling Dill up under a cave during a thunderstorm made me lose it. I was convinced the kids were going to die. Their parents were going to be looking for them forever, etc. I pretty much had a panic attack and was crying to my mom, why would the Easter Bunny give me this movie? It is so sad. Quote, we laugh about it now. Terminator 2 when I was 8. It freaked my dad out so much. Thinking I was gay, he made me watch the sex scene in the first Terminator movie too. Literally. Set me straight. Man, my family is messed up. John Wick when those assholes killed his dog. A Dog's Purpose. I Am Legend. That dog scene. I still can't watch it. I can't remember mine, but I can remember my daughters. A Little Princess. No idea. Most of them make me cry these days. No exaggeration. Shrek 3. Click starring Adam Sandler. That last scene at the hospital, man. I don't really watch him anymore, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was his peak in acting. Old Yeller. Marley and Me. Can't see dogs die, man. My girl, because Thomas J can't see without his glasses. SSSS. Quote. Interstellar. You know which scene? Fox and the Hound. Selena. I was 8 when I watched it with my mom. Thought it was a cool movie about a singer and bam, she's dead. Then bang. My mom tells me it was all real, including her dying. I left the room sobbing and cried for 2 days straight. Probably didn't help it was only a couple months after my own brother died, so I didn't understand death completely. Cannot watch that movie to this day without experiencing that fresh childhood trauma. My dudes. Where the Red Fern Grows. Have wanted a red-bone coonhound since I read the book. Remember the Titans. Every time. Titanic. I was just hitting puberty when I saw it, and romance was everything. Bambi. Spider-Man 3. Flowers for Algernon. La Vita e Bella. I'd highly recommend it to those who haven't seen it yet. Wasn't a movie, but when Ash had to release his Beautifree I was sobbing. The Green Mile. I think. I've never really cried at a movie, but I teared up a little when John Coffey tells the guards to let him be executed, because he's tired of it all. And then his execution scene, where he's afraid of the dark. He's just such an innocent soul. That movie turned me against the death penalty. I sobbed like a bitch reading the book. I've never once cried in a movie. It's never happened, and I'm concerned because it makes me look unemotional. However, when I attended the premiere of Avengers Endgame and I realized Tony Stark was dying, I skipped right over the tears and just threw up. E.T. Beaches. Inside Out. I watched it shortly before my 17th birthday. When I was a bit younger than Riley, my family moved halfway across the country, so the whole movie was a bit too relatable for me. The scene that finally got me teared up a bit was after Riley ran away. When she came back home, and her parents were sharing their favorite memories of their old home. Good Will Hunting. Big Daddy. As they are taking the kid away and he shouts, "I wipe my own ass," and Sandler replies while tearing up, "I know you do, buddy. Just got me as a kid." Sound of Music. Crossing the Alps. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Absolutely gut-wrenching watching him frantically try to stop his own memory erasure. It was a really weird movie called Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart. Simon Birch. Bambi, which was probably the first one I remember watching in a theater. My mom said when he was calling for his mother, I cried out loud, "She died. She died, boo-hoo-hoo." Quote. And all adults in the theater laughed. But as an adult, practically every film I watch, I just cried today watching Coco. Chicken Run. I was in the movie theater. Rugrats in Paris. I remember this vividly. Chucky sings a song about wanting a mother on the plane to Paris. I was so little and embarrassed that I left the theater to go to the restroom. Didn't have to go. and hid behind the wall with the ramp and kept watching the scene, crying, "I have a ship, Mom." And my young mind didn't realize that I was relating to him. Brother Bear.